Welcome back to AM Northwest. Many people may be wondering what might happen with their retirement savings as a result of the election. Here with some insight, we welcome back from Swanson Financial, David Swanson. Always good to see you. So what normally happens in an election year?
Well, historically, in an election year when the Democrats stay in office, markets seem to do pretty well. What markets don't like are change. They don't like uncertainty, and we've certainly had a lot of that going forward. The opinions I'm about to make are really my own observations, and so what we see is that in a midterm election, markets have, in the middle of an election period, the markets tend to be pretty flat. They just seem to hum along. But the best markets seem to be, over the last several decades, the year right before an election. So markets perform in the double digits, like we've had pretty good return, except up until last Friday, when you may have noticed that we had 9 sessions in a row where the market was had declined, which is the worst market performance we've had since 1980.
Wow.
Now this morning...
Is it because nobody knows what's going to happen?
Oh, people are very scared about what's going to change. People just like things to be the same. They like the known. And when you have uncertainty, causes lots of trouble in the market. So this morning, as you may have seen, the market responded very nicely to news that happened over the weekend. So we're kind of breaking the myth that the markets have a tendency to, be stable over this time period. But anyway, the point is that make sure that in your retirement savings that you're taking advantage of what these opportunities are, or making sure that you're protecting yourself in these in these times when markets are very, very volatile.
So how can you protect yourself?
Well, the first thing is that most retired people take too much exposure. They have too much exposure into the stock market.
Okay.
And when you head into a political time like we are right now, it makes good sense to be more conservative heading into this. Once the change has occurred, then maybe you can go forward and move back into the markets if that's what you want to do. But most people seem to take too much risk during this time period, and we don't want to do that.
So be conservative.
Be very conservative.
Right. And do you say put more money, less money into stocks and into other things?
Well, now what happens is a lot of people have been moving money into mutual funds, bond funds. And for the last 9 years, interest rates have been declining, declining, declining. So you get kind of a false sense of security. When interest rates begin to move up, bond prices fall. In the 1980s, we saw interest rates at 18, 19%. You could buy a CD for 1 year for 18 or 19%. That would be a pretty good opportunity right now.
Sure.
And the only reason we bought them for 1 year was because we thought the next year interest rates are going to be higher. Rates have fallen and fallen and fallen. When rates start to move up, these monies that are in bond funds are going to have a severe decline if rates move quickly. So if you think you're safe, you better talk to someone who's an expert, who has experience in this market, and make sure that if we have a big change in going forward, that you're prepared for that, because you don't want to have less money in retirement, you want to have more.
Right, and one of the big things you talk about is making sure you have a checkup on your retirement savings so you know what you have to work with.
Absolutely, and we would suggest you come to one of our free workshops. In fact, our last workshop is going to be tomorrow night in Beaverton. It'll be the last one for this year. Seek out advice from someone who is competent and professional, and get as much information as you can before you make any changes with your investments.
Okay, now we have some viewer questions for you that we're going to get to right after the break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to AM Northwest, and we're back with David Swanson, who's answering your retirement questions. So we have a number of questions from viewers here. This one says, I am 60 and concerned the options my employer has in my 401k are limited and too risky. Any suggestions?
Yes. If you are over age 59 and a half, you have the option to take your money, in most cases, out of a retirement account and move it into an IRA on a tax-free basis, and you can manage those assets that are more consistent with you. And it's been set up so that people, as they approach retirement, can take control and be able to then make sure that they have assets going forward. So if your plan isn't meeting your expectations, that's an option. Talk with somebody and ask if they can help you do that.
And the older you get, don't don't risk too much.
Well, you just don't have the time
Right.
to make the money back. That's the whole point. And as you get older, you should be taking less risk. When you're younger, you have many times,
Sure.
many years to earn it back, but you certainly don't after you've retired or as you're approaching retirement.
Our next viewer question, we are close to retirement and my stockbroker assures us not to worry about the stock market. We currently have most of our savings in a brokerage account invested in stocks. Should we be worried?
I think so.
Yeah.
You should be. And first part of this is where you get your advice from. If you have a stockbroker and they have a single focus, their company requires them or forces them, or their only options they have are to sell stocks, bonds, and mutual funds, you should seek a second opinion, because if you only have a single source to offer, that may not always be the best thing for you, and so a second opinion is very, very important. So as having a concentration of stocks as you move into retirement can set back your retirement or set back the things that you want to do in your
Sure.
retirement, which is to enjoy yourself. So.
Absolutely. Our next question is, I just received an inheritance. I hope I'm related to this person. I am unsure how best to invest the funds, and what do you suggest?
Okay, so we start with the basic process. So you find out what you want to accomplish, what your financial concerns are, what's best for you and your family, whatever resources you have, and then you take that inheritance and you use it to your advantage. If your advantage is I want to make sure my children are taken care of in college, or if I want to make sure I can do the vacations that I wanted to, that's where that money is directed to. But you have a plan. You focus on where you want to go, and those assets then are moved into your plan so that you can use them to your best advantage.
Do you think people should wait until after the election to start moving money?
Absolutely. You should, and first, never make any choices quickly. Always have a plan on what you're going to do. And if you have a plan, it really doesn't matter what the market does up and down. It really doesn't matter what politics are. If the vast majority of your money is safe and protected and it's generating income for you in retirement, it really doesn't matter, because you can't lose your principal if you have it organized right. So I'd suggest talk to someone who's experienced and competent and have them help you set up a plan that is an all-weather plan.
Okay, just enough time to talk about the last workshop that you have.
Great. We have one last free workshop this year. It's going to be tomorrow night. It's out in Beaverton. If you'd like to go, please give our office a call and get registered. You're welcome to come, or you can just call our office directly and we'll see if we can help you with your situation.
Okay, actually, I guess we do have enough time. We both want to retire next year with this last question.
Sure.
It all seems overwhelming. How best can we make sense of what is the best path for us?
That is the single question that people come into my office every day, and they say, we want to retire. And the best thing I can do is when we have a meeting and they look at their watch and go, I want to retire right now, I can do it because I feel confident that I can. So we build a plan, figure out what it is, marshal all your resources together, and then you become empowered and have the ability to feel comfortable that you can step off. Because when you work, you're just trading your dollars for the time that you have to do something else. And if you enjoy working, then you're doing the things that you want to do. But if you'd really rather spend time with your wife or your family or doing your pursuits, maybe you have enough resources, you just don't know it. So give us a call and we can help you.
Okay, well, for help in planning for your retirement or to attend a workshop, call Swanson Financial at 503-603-9900. And David will be back next week, so if you have any questions for him, head to the AM Northwest Facebook page and he may answer them when he's back. Thank you so much, David. Appreciate it.